If you're looking to build a Squarespace website that stands out, you are definitely in the right place. My name is Love and I specialize in building Squarespace websites that stands out. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I built this website on Squarespace without touching a single line of code. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to visit Squarespace. So I am going to start by using an account that I have never used on Squarespace before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type Squarespace URL on my browser. So that would be www.squarespace.com. Okay, and this is exactly what I see. So I'm just going to click on get started. I'm going to create a new account, and then it's going to ask me to search for a site topic. So I'm just going to choose a random topic like marketing, click on next, and it's saying what do you want to do with your website. So I'm just going to choose all the options here. And then click on finish and create your account. So I'm going to create my account with Google, and then I'm just going to choose this random account, continue, and then it's setting things up for me. Okay, so it's asking me for my site title, so I'm just going to put the name of the project we are going to work on today, which is called Phones and Co. And then what's your brand personality? I think I'll choose friendly, and then click on next. And then I'm just waiting for it to generate some content. Build your home page, add as many sections as you need. So I'm just going to choose like the about. I'm going to choose the footer, form. Just choose anything, to be honest, because at the end of the day, this video is going to teach you how to build a website from scratch still. So I'm just going to click on next, and then it says choose a color palette. So I'm just going to choose any color palette. So I'm just going to click on this option here. This looks nice already. I'm just going to click on next, and asking me to choose a font pairing. So I'm just going to choose this professional one here, and then I'll click on finish. So I'm just waiting for it to come up with a base template for me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way to this option that says website, because this is where you need to go to edit the back end of the site. So I'm just going to click on website here. I'm going to click on pages, and I'm going to click on edit. So if you notice, this is currently on the home page, so I'm just going to click on edit. And also, if you already have an existing Squarespace account and maybe you choose a random template, you can still follow this video. So the main page on the site is the home page, so I'm just going to click on home, and then I'm just going to click on edit. So this is basically what we are going to work with, and this is the website that we're going to build today. So I have a blog post where I shared all the resources, so I'm just going to link the blog post in the description. So if you want the images I used, you can just put in your email and you're going to get the images, and the brand colors as well, they are all here, and the typography, they are all here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust like the paragraphs, the fonts, and the colors basically. So to do that, I'm just going to come all the way to this brush icon here that says site styles. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to come all the way to this first option here that says font, and then I'm going to click on the arrow right here. And then for my heading font, I'm going to head over to the blog post, and then I'm just going to copy my heading font, which is the Lucida Sans Unicode font. So I'm just going to copy the name, click on OK, head over to the website. I'm going to click on headings. I'm going to click on this arrow here, and then I'm going to click on the font option here, and then I'm going to paste my font here. So if you have any preferred fonts, feel free to search for it. And if it's not a Squarespace, you can click on this button here to upload your preferred font. So I'm just going to choose an existing Squarespace font. I'm going to click on this here. So my font has been uploaded to the website. So the next thing is my paragraph font. So I'm going to head over to the blog post now. So my paragraph font is the Bricolage font. So I'm just going to copy the name, head over to my Squarespace website. I'm going to go back because currently we're in the headings section. So I'm going to go back once, and then I'm going to come all the way to paragraphs, and then I'm going to click on this arrow here, click on the current font, and then I'm going to search this font, and we have it right here. So I'm just going to click on it, and then I'm going to go back. So you can also adjust your button font. So if I click on this arrow, I can see that my button font is currently Roboto. So if I'm looking to change it, I just need to click on, the current font and then paste a new font name, or I can stick to the previous font that was there. So you can change, the other button fonts, because Squarespace gives you 3 buttons, and we'll talk about that very soon. Okay, so I'm just going to go backward again, and now we're done with choosing our preferred heading and paragraph font. So the next thing I'm going to work on is the color. To be honest, I really like this color. I feel free to stick to it, but because we're building this Squarespace website from scratch, I'm going to use the color palettes that we have here. So if you head over to the blog post, you'll be able to copy the hex code of all the colors. So I'm just going to copy the first hex code here, and then I'm going to go over to the website, and then I'm going to come all the way to colors. I will click on this arrow here, and then I will come all the way to edit palette. I would choose the first color, and then I would erase the existing color here, and then I will paste the new color. Now I'll click on the second one, head over to the blog post, copy the second color, head over to the websites that we're currently building, and paste the second color. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I don't fill in the color palette. Okay, so we're done filling the color palette, and if you notice with Squarespace, whenever you are filling your color palette, you have to start from the lightest to the darkest. Looking at the existing color palettes they have, you can see that they all go from the lightest to the darkest, which I have done here. And most times the middle color would most likely be the color that all your buttons on your website would inherit. So now that we're done filling our color palette, I'm just going to go backwards once and go backwards again. Okay, so now let's talk about the buttons. So this is the button section. I'm just going to click on this. So currently we have like the fill shape button, which is like a bit circular. So if you like this kind of buttons, feel free to go for it. So I'm just going to click on the arrow to teach you how to change buttons if you don't like it. So the thing about Squarespace, or sometimes if you visit random websites, you will notice that they have 2 button styles. Maybe one can be square and one can be circular. So that's what the primary, tertiary, and secondary button is all about. So if you want to have different button styles, you can choose like your primary, secondary, and tertiary button to adapt to different button styles. But if you just want one button style, then you can use only one button style, which is maybe the primary button on your site. So I'm going to show you how to adjust the buttons here. So to adjust the buttons, I'm just going to go back, click on the arrow here, and then for my primary button, I'm going to click on the arrow here, and then come all the way to the option here that says shape, and then I can see that it's currently on a fill shape, and then I'm just going to click on the arrow here, and then I can decide to choose this square one here or this rounded rectangle. So I'm just going to choose the square one. So we can see that we have 2 options here, fill and no fill. So for fill, it means that your button will have a solid background color, and then for no fill, it means that your button would not have a solid background color. However, you can give it like an outline. So if you notice, we have like the outline option here, and then if I increase it to 1, you can see that the no fill button now has a solid border. So I'm just going to go back to the shape, and then I'm going to choose fill because I want my button to have a solid color. So I'm going to go to the secondary button as well. So currently we have the secondary button is currently a fill shape with a no fill and an outline border of 1 px. So I'm just going to click on this arrow here, and then I'm going to choose fill, and then I'll still choose this square shape. And then lastly, for the tertiary button, tertiary button is just an underline. So this is basically just a text, and I believe when you hover on it, it will have an underline. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, and then I'm just going to go backwards again. So right now we're done with our website settings. We've adjusted the colors, the fonts, the buttons. So I'm just going to close this tab for now. And basically, to edit things on Squarespace, you just need to hover on any section you are in, because with Squarespace you build sections by section. So if you notice, this is one section, this is a different section, this is a different section. So if you want to adjust a section, you just need to hover on the section with your mouse, and then you will see options like add block, you will see options like edit section. So I'm going to delete what I have here, this image block, because I don't need it, or I need it, but I just want to show you how to, add it yourself. So I'm just going to delete it, the image block here, and there's also a text block, so I'm going to delete that as well. And something else I'm also going to do at this point is when I click on Command G, basically this section shows me this white space here and this white space below. This basically means that I can't add any image here. I can only add images within these rows and columns here, and I like to be the one in charge of the space I can add images and fonts to. So what I basically do is I click on edit section, and then I toggle off fill screen. So now that I've toggled off fill screen, I'm basically in control. Right now you can see that there is no longer any white space above and there is no white space beneath, but we can see that we still have white space around these edges. I'm going to adjust that soon. So but to reduce the white space at the top and at the bottom, you just need to come all the way to edit section and toggle off fill screen. So right now I'm basically in charge of the rows and columns I would want to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on site styles, and then I'm going to scroll down to this option here that says miscellaneous. I'll click on the arrow here, and then I'll come all the way to spacing. I'm going to click on this spacing right here, and then it says your page width is currently 1200. So I like mine to be 1400. So I'm just going to click the 2 and give it a 4, 1, 4, and then I'm going to go back again, click on close. So right now the amount of grids and columns I can work with is way more. I can add images all the way up to this point. So these are basically settings I add to my own Squarespace website. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to look at the website. So the first section basically has like a title, so I'm just going to copy the title here, and then I'm going to head over to the build, and then while I'm in this section, I'm just going to see this option here that says add block. So I'm just going to click on it, and then I'm going to click on this text icon here, and then I'm going to move the text icon to the middle, and then I'm just going to paste my text here, Homes and Co, and then I'm just going to stretch this out here just so everything is on the same line. I'm also going to stretch this out here. So something else I must say is on Squarespace you have like different headings. So the heading 1 would most likely have like the biggest font size, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. So if you want to adjust like the heading size and everything, you just need to come all the way to site styles still, and you need to come all the way to fonts, then choose headings, and then you can adjust like your heading size right here. But something else you could also do is you could also copy this whole text by clicking on Command A or Control A and choosing this effect here. So it's basically called the scale effect. So once you click on this, your text basically adapts to this whole excess spacing that was assigned to it or has been assigned to it. So imagine me stretching this out, and right now, because it's currently set to heading 1, it still looks the same. So once I click on Command A and then I choose this scale effect here, my text becomes bigger and then it adapts to the entire size. And then if I increase it more here and increase it more here, it keeps on scaling. So the next thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to come and give it a subtext or a subheading. So I would go back to the website here. I'm going to copy this, Command C, then I'll come all the way to the site, and then I'll click on Add Block again, and then I'll click on Text, and I'm just going to move this beneath the heading text, and then I'm just going to click on my pencil icon, click on Command V, and now I have my text. I also want to align it or justify it to be in the middle, so I'm just going to click on Command A, and then I'll click this option here. Whenever you're working with the text block, you just need to click on the pencil icon and these options will all come up. So I just want this to be in the middle, aligned to the middle, so I'm just going to click on this option here, and then I'm just going to choose this option here. So right now, my text is in the middle. Something else I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust these colors because we chose quite a number of colors. So to do that, I'm just going to click on Edit section here, and then I'll come all the way to colors, and then I'm just going to scroll down and choose this last color theme here. And now this is what the site looks like. So on the current website, Bones & Co is in cream. So if I want to change my color to be cream, like the heading text, I'm just going to click on Command A, and then I'm going to click on this color option right here, and then I'm just going to choose the first color here. So if you ever change the section color, let's say if you ever go to any section, come all the way to colors and change the section color, let's say you choose light 2, there's a very high chance that this color will change back to orange. So you just need to highlight it again and change the color. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add images to the site. So there are different ways we could add images to the site. We can add them manually, and then the other way we can do is to add everything once and for all from the assets library. So I'm just going to click on Save, and then I'm going to click on Exit, and I'm going to click on this arrow here on our website, and I'm going to come all the way to assets. So on our website, we have pages, we have styles, we have assets. I'm going to click on assets, and now this is like my asset library. So we have all these images here. These images basically came from the template that Squarespace gave us. So now I'm going to click on this option here that says upload, and I'm going to upload all the images I want on this site. So I just have them here, and I'm just going to upload them one after the other. So I've been able to upload all my images, and now I'm just going to head over to the website. So I'm just going to go back to pages and come all the way to home, and then click on edit. So the next thing I want to do is to add an image block. So to do that, I'm just going to click on this plus icon here that says add block, and I'm going to click on my image block here, and I'm just going to move this all the way to the bottom here, and I'm going to click on the plus icon inside the image. I would click on select from library, because remember, we've already uploaded all our images already. But if you want to upload your images one after the other, you can click on upload file and you'll be able to upload a new file. But because my image is already here, I'm going to click on select from library, and then I'm just going to choose this image, and then I'll click on add. So with Squarespace, whenever you add images, it could look a bit small, and the same way we have like an option to choose scale for text, and then your text size can be very big. We also have the option for images, but for images it's called fill. So what I just need to do is to click on the image block, click the pencil icon here, and then come all the way to design, and then I'm just going to click on fill. And once I click on fill, I'll be able to drag my image, and then it's going to be as big as I want it to be. So now that I'm dragging it, you can see that, you know, it's as big as I want it to be. So I'm just going to expand this a bit. And then something that I want to do is I want to adjust the focal point. So right now on this image, I can see that the lady's body was currently showing, and I prefer if her face shows instead. So what I'll do is I'll click on the image again, click on the pencil icon, and then when I click on the pencil icon, there's this circle thing here, so it's called a focal point. So if I click on her shoulders, for example, the focal point becomes her shoulders. So on the image here, you know, her shoulders then shows. If I click on her legs is what would show. So I'm just going to click on her shoulders right here, and yeah, this is what I want. Another animation I would like to add to my image is I just want it to not be static. So what I will do is I'll come all the way to this option here that says design, and then I'll come all the way to image effects, and I'll choose this third option here. So this is basically a parallax effect. So when you scroll, you know, the image moves slightly. Okay, so yeah, the next thing I want to do is I want to add a call to action. So I'm just going to click on add block again, and then I'm going to click on this button block here, and then I'm going to move this to under the image block, and then I'm just going to scale it all the way. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the site to look at the call to action, begin your project. So I'm just going to begin your bouquet project. So I'm just going to copy the text here, and I'm going to click on the pencil icon, and then I'm going to click on Command V. Okay, and then I'm going to click on save. So the next thing I want us to do is to come over to the next section. So we're actually not going to use this section. You can delete it, but if you want to work with this section, you can still work with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm still going to come all the way to add section. I will choose add a blank section, and then this is my blank section. So the first thing I will do is come all the way to edit section, go all the way to colors, and then give it this light color. And then I'm also going to come all the way to edit section and turn off fill screen, so I can be in control of the amount of white space I have. And then I'm going to drag this all the way to the bottom. So if you notice on this site, it looks like all of this is in one section. It looks like all of this design is continuous, but there's a little hack that I did basically that made it look this way. So what you need to do is to head over to, you know, the site, and then click on, so this is the new section I added. So I'm going to go back to the first section by scrolling all the way to the top, and then I'm going to click on add block again, and this time around I'm going to add a shape block. So this is my shape block, and then I'm going to move this shape all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to increase the length of the shape by dragging it down to the bottom. And then I'm also going to click on the shape block, and then there's this option here that says move backwards. So I'm just going to click it, move backwards, move backwards, move backwards. So right now all my images and buttons are in front of the shape. So this is what makes it look like it's a continuous design. Adding a shape block that looks like the next section on the previous section. So you can adjust the shape block to be a bit longer. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, there are some images that were here, so I want to add them here as well. So I'm going to click add block again, click on image, and then click on the plus icon here, click on select from library, and then I'm just going to choose this image here. I'll click on add, and this is what I have. So I'm just going to reduce it a bit, and I can choose the scale effect as well, or the fill effect as well. So I'm just going to click on the pencil icon again, click on design, click on fill, and I'm just going to move my shape, my image block to be here. Okay, so I think this particular image is a bit too long, so I'm just going to reduce it a bit, as well from this side, and then I'm going to reduce the buttons as well. I'm going to adjust the heading as well to be, I want all of them to be on the same line. Then I'm going to drag this as well to be in the middle. Okay, so the next thing I'm also going to do is I'm also going to add another image block here. So I can choose to click this image block and then click on this duplicate icon here, and then move this all the way till the end, and then click on the pencil icon, click on replace, click on select from library, and then choose this other image, click on add. Okay, and right now I have this image. So the reason why there's no need for me to click fill and all of that for this is because I duplicated the one that already has the edits. Okay, so now let's go back to the original design. Okay, so we are good to go. I think the image block is a bit longer like this one, so I'm just going to adjust the one here a bit. So I'm just going to drag the button down, and then I'm going to increase the image just a bit. I'm just going to drag this one up a bit, and then increase the image block here just a bit. Yeah, so I'm just going to click on save. It's important that you save from time to time when building on Squarespace so you don't lose what you've already designed. So for the next section, we have an image of, this man. So I'm going to come all the way to my site and go to the next section here. I'm going to click on add block, click on image, click on the plus icon, click on select from library, and then I'm just going to choose the image of the man here. I'll click on add, and something else I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the scale effect because I want the image to be bigger than this. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon, click on design, click on fill, and then I'm just going to adjust the size of the image to be as big as I want it to be. So I'm just going to expand the spacing here, and then I'm going to drag this image to be a bit bigger. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the text, and the first text I'm going to put is the about us text. So to do that, I'm going to click on add block here, click on the text icon, and then I'm going to drag this text block all the way to the bottom here, and then I'm going to type about us, ABOUT us, and then I'm going to click on Command A, make this a heading 2, and then I'm going to click on the scale effect, and then I'm just going to drag this out a bit just so it's as big as I want it to be. Okay, then I'm going to reduce the size of this image because it's getting bigger as I'm adjusting the text, but no worries at all, it's all adjustable. And I'm going to take this text block, and then I'm going to move it on top of this image block. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the AB, and I'm going to give it a text color of white. So I'm going to click on this color icon here, and then I'm going to choose this color here. So this is how I was able to achieve this effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add another text block for the write-up for the about us. So I'm just going to come all the way to the website. I'm just going to copy this. add this, Command C, then I'll come all the way here, and then I'll click on add block, and then I'll click on a text icon here, and then I'm just going to move this all the way, and then I'll click on my pencil icon and click on Command V, and then I'm just going to drag this out a bit and then reduce the spacing here. Okay, so I'm just going to move this text block as well, to be here, just so it doesn't look too close to the image. And I'm going to drag this to the top just a bit. I'm going to move the about us as well here. And the last thing I'm going to do is to add a call to action. So I'm just going to click on add block, click a button block, and then I'm going to move this all the way to the bottom here, and then I'm going to give it a call to action that says learn more. So click on the pencil icon. Okay, learn more. It already says learn more. Yeah, so this is how I was able to build this next section. So I'm just going to reduce the white space. Okay, so the next section we're going to build is this section. Basically, it's like for trust, building trust on the website. So I'm just going to head over to the website we're building. I'll click on add section. I'll click on add a blank section. I'm going to come all the way to edit section and change the color to this cream color here. I'll click on edit section again, and I'll toggle fill screen off, and then I'm going to increase the space I want to work with. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add block here, and then I'm going to click on this line block here, and I'm going to move this to the bottom and just drag it out a bit. Okay, so now that we drag it out a bit, I'm going to click on add block, click on text block, and then I'm going to click on my pencil icon, and then I'll write a number which is 05. And then because I want it to be bigger, I'm going to click on Command A, and then I'm going to choose the scale effect, and I'm just going to reduce the size a bit. And then if I want to change the color, I click on Command A again, click on the color icon here, and then I'm going to change this to orange. So I'm just going to drag this up a bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just write this years of craftsmanship. So I'm just going to click on the add block button again, click on the text option, and I'm just going to drag this text block all the way to this point. Click on my pencil icon, click on Command V, and I think I want this to be in the middle because it looks too up. So I'm just going to drag this here, so just so it's in the middle. So we have 5 years of craftsmanship. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add another line. So I can duplicate this as well. Just click on the line and then click on this option here that says duplicate, and then I'm just going to move this all the way to the bottom. So the next thing we need to do is to add faces of people. So to do that, I'll come all the way to this option here that says add block, and then I'll add an image block, and then I'll just move it all the way to this point. I'll click on the plus icon here, click on select from library, choose an image of anyone, and I have the image here. The next thing I will do is to click on the image, click on the pencil icon, come all the way to design, and come all the way to shape. And once you click on shape, it becomes a circle. But if you don't like circle, if you want it to be something else, you can click on this shape arrow here, and then you can choose other shapes like this one, this. Yeah, just feel free to have fun, just play around with different shapes. I kind of like this one, so maybe I would use this one for now. So I'm just going to choose this shape, and I'm going to click out, and then I'm just going to reduce the size of the shape. Just going to reduce it a bit, and then I'm just going to move this here. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this image again, just so I don't have to choose the shape again. So I'm just going to duplicate this image, and then I'm going to move it here. Click on the pencil icon, click on replace, click on select from library, and then I will choose this image, click on add. Okay, so I'm going to click on this image again, click on this option here for duplication, and I'm going to move this again here, and then I'll click on the pencil icon, click on replace, click on select from library, then I'll choose this image, click on add, and then we'll click on this option again, click on the duplicate button, move this here, click on the pencil icon, click on replace, click on select from library, and then I'll choose this image, click on add. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to write my text. So I can click on the text block here, click on duplicate, and then I can move this all the way to this point. And then I'm just going to go back to the website and then copy this text. So crafted with care, connected by community. So click on Command C, and then I'll come all the way to the site here, and then I'm just going to paste the text, Command A, Command V. So I'm just going to drag this out just so everything is on the same line. Okay, so I noticed that this is already touching the edge, and the concept of this design is we have this here, we have this in the middle, and then the last one is at the edge. So what I'm going to do is I would love to drag all of this, maybe just so it starts from this point. So to do that, what I just need to do is to point my arrow on the website, and I'm just going to hover on all these images, and that way Squarespace automatically groups it, and then I can move all of them together. But you can also move them individually, like this, like this, like this. But if you need an easy way out, you can just group all of them at the same time and move them together. Okay, so the next thing we are going to work on is the last line. So I'm just going to click on this line, click on this duplicate option, move this line to the bottom, and then I'm going to come all the way to the website, and then okay, 1000 clients will trust us. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way here, click on this text block, click on the text icon here, and then I'm going to drag the text icon to this area here, and then I'll click on the pencil icon, and then I'll type in 1000. I'll click on Command A, change the color to orange, and then I'll click on the scale text option here. I'm just going to drag this up a bit here. So we have 1000. I'm going to drag this here just a bit, just so it follows this format. So I'm going to click on add block again, click my text block, and then I'm going to move this text block all the way to the edge, and then I'm going to click the pencil icon and paste the final write-up which says clients who trust us. And okay, I think I want to reduce. It looks like this block is a bit bigger than the next, than this one, so I'm just going to drag this up a bit, drag this up a bit, drag this one up a bit, so now they all look the same. Okay, so I'm just going to click on save, and I'm going to go and reduce the excess spacing at the bottom, and then I'll click on save again. Okay, so next we're going to work on this section, essence section. So I'm just going to head over to the site and scroll down, click on add section, click on add a blank section, click on edit section, change the color to this one here, click on edit section again, and turn off fill screen. I'm going to increase the spacing here, and then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add an image block to this section. So to do that, I'll click on add block, click on image here, click on the plus icon here in the middle, click on select from library, and then I'm just going to choose this image here, and then I'll click on add. So I'm just going to move this all the way to the edge, and then I'll click on the pencil icon again, click on design and toggle on fill. Okay, and then I'm going to expand the image just a bit. So to give it those rounded corners, what you need to do is to click on the image block again, click on the pencil icon, come all the way to design, and now see this option here that says corner radius. This is where we need to go to. So I need to click on this second option here. So what we're trying to do is let me go back to the design here. We're trying to, curve the upper part of this square, which is this side, which is also this corner. So what you just need to do is to come all the way to the top right corner here and then just click 900. Okay, and this is what we have. So I can choose to duplicate this again and then move it to the bottom, and then I'll click on the pencil icon. This time around, it's the bottom we want to, be circular. So I'm just going to erase the 900 on the top right corner, and then I'm going to come all the way to the bottom right corner, and then I'll type 900. Yeah, so basically this is how I was able to achieve this design. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come all the way to add block, click on text, move this here just a bit, and then I will type essence. So this is a heading, so I'm just going to click on Command A, and then I will change it to a heading 2. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the write-up, so I'm just going to come all the way to add block, pick the text icon and move it under essence, and then I'm just going to copy this text here, Command C, and then I'm going to paste it here, Command V, and yeah, basically this is how I was able to build this section. So I'm just going to move this to the bottom just a bit, move this as well, move this, I think I want it to be a bit bigger, move this as well, make it a bit bigger, move this, make it a bit bigger, and just really make it a bit closer to the text. Yeah, and just drag it down a bit. Okay, yeah, so this is how I was able to work on this section. So I'm just going to click on save, and the next section we need to work on is the testimonials section. So to do that, I'm going to come all the way to the site, click on add section, click on add a blank section, click on edit section, go all the way to colors, and then choose the lightest background. Click on edit section again, turn off fill screen, increase the white space. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add a block, but this time around I'm going to add a scrolling block. So this is the scrolling block here. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'll click on the pencil icon here. I will delete the second text, and then I'm going to click on the first text here that says dream it, and then I'll just say what are others saying, and then I'm just going to go back and come all the way to design, and then I can increase the text size to maybe medium, and I can reduce the speed to maybe 0.5, and I like to increase my item spacing, so I'm just going to increase my item spacing just a bit, and I can also fade the edges just like this. And yeah, basically that's how I was able to add this scrolling block, and then I'm just going to move it up a bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another block for the testimonial. So I'm just going to click on add block, click on image, move this to the bottom a bit, click on the plus icon here, click on select from library, and then I'm just going to choose this image, click on add, and then click on the image block again, click on the pencil icon, come all the way to design and click on fill, and then I'm just going to expand this image just a bit, expand this image, just going to expand this section as well. And then the next thing I want to do is include the testimonial, so I'll head over to the site here. I'm going to copy this testimonial, and then I'm just going to come all the way here and click on add block, click on the text block here, and then I'm just going to move this to be close to the image here, and then I'll click on the pencil icon and click on Command V, and then I'm just going to maybe reduce this a bit, and also reduce this. I'm going to move this here just so the image block is not touching the text block. Yeah, so I'm going to add 2 more. So I can click on the image block here, click on this duplicate icon, and then move it all the way to this area, make it a bit smaller, and then I'll change the face here. Replace, select from library, I'll change it to maybe this image, click on add, and then I can actually duplicate this text block as well, duplicate it, and then move it all the way to this area here. And then I'm going to come all the way to the sides, and then I'm going to copy this text, come all the way to the website here, and then click on Command A and then Ctrl V. And then I'm just going to duplicate this image block one more time, and then I'll also duplicate this as well one more time, and then I'm going to change the image here, click on replace, select from library, and then I'm going to choose this man, click on add, and then I'll go all the way to the site, copy the last testimonial, Command C, come all the way to this website here, and then click on the text block, click on the pencil icon, click on Command A, Command V, and yeah, basically this is how I was able to build this section. So I'm just going to maybe move this a bit, and then just going to play around with the sizing for this. Okay, so this is what we have. So next section we are going to build is this section for our space. So to do that, I'm just going to come all the way to the website here. I will click on add section, add a blank section, come all the way to edit section and go all the way to colors, and then I would choose this option here that says darkest one, and I'm going to click on add block, click on image, click on the plus icon here, click on select from library, and then choose this image here, click on add, and then I'll click on the pencil icon on the image block, click on design and toggle fill on, and then I'm just going to move this to the middle. Okay, something else I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off fill screen. So click on edit section here and then turn this off, fill screen, and then I'm just going to increase the white space here. I'm going to increase the image size as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add block and then add a shape block again. So this time around I'm going to add a shape block that looks like this other section, just so it looks like it's continuous. So I'm going to click on shape here, and then I'm just going to drag this all the way to the top, reduce the size here, and then I'm just going to drag this till the end. And then when I click on the shape block, I'm just going to see this option here that says move backward. So I'm just going to click on it, and then this is how I was able to achieve this design. So I'll click on save. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a shape block again. So I'm just going to come all the way here. Okay, I'm going to add a shape block. So I'm going to come all the way to this design, click on add block, click on shape block, and this time around I want to change the color of the shape block. So to do that, I'm going to click on the plus icon here, come all the way to colors, and then choose this current color here, and then I'm going to move it, change it to this color. Something else I want is I want it to have a stroke color. So I'm going to, right now it doesn't have any stroke color, so I'm just going to click on this option here that says bold stroke, and right now it has adapted to orange. But if it's in a different color and you want to change it, you just need to click on the stroke color option, and then you can change it to any other color that you want. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to use orange. Also, to me, the stroke color is too bold and I don't like that. So for me to change the stroke color, I just need to come all the way to this option here that says thickness. Click on these 3 icons here, and then right now the thickness is on 6, so I'm just going to change it to 1. Okay, and then I'm just going to move this to the middle here. I'm going to increase my spacing at the bottom. I'm going to increase this all the way. Increase this all the way. So if you noticed as well, in the demo website I built, the corners were a bit rounded. So I'm just going to click on the shape block, click on the pencil icon again, and then I'm going to click on this option here. So I want the bottom corners to be rounded. So this is the first bottom corner and this is the second bottom corner. So I'll just come here and maybe give it 90. Okay, this is 90. And then I'll give it 90. So this is what I have right now. So the next thing I want to do is I want to title this section as space. So to do that, I'll click on add block, click on text block here, and then I'm just going to move the text all the way to the middle of the image, and then I'll type in space. I'll click on Command A, make this a heading 2, and then I'm just going to scale it all the way. So I'm going to scale it and then increase the size. Okay, and move this up a bit. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to put in my write-up. So I'll come all the way to add block here, click on the text icon, and then move the text icon all the way to the middle, and then I'm just going to head over to this side and then copy the text, Command C, and then I'm going to paste the text here, Command V, and then I'm just going to drag this out a bit, and then I'm going to click on Command A to justify it to be middle, to be in the middle, aligned to the middle, and I'm also going to reduce, the excess white space here. The next thing I want to do is to add a call to action which says visit our showroom. So I'm just going to copy the text here, or I'll just type it myself. So I'll come all the way to the site, click on add block, click on button, and then move the button all the way to the bottom here, drag it out, and then I would just click on edit and then type visit our showroom. And then something else with this design is I added a shape block for decoration. So to do that, just click on add block, click on shape block, and we have this square shape block. So I'm just going to reduce it to be a bit small, and then I'm just going to drag it out and just put it here. Okay, let's make it a bit fatter. Okay, now it's too big, so let's just stick to this, and then I'm going to duplicate it here and then add it here. Yeah, so basically this was how I was able to add this shape block here as a decorative element onto this side. So I'm going to reduce the excess white space here, and then I'm going to click on save. So the next section I want us to work on will be the contact section. But before doing that, I just noticed that this section has this curved border as well. So in order to achieve that, what you need to do is to click on edit section here, come all the way to this option here that says styling, and this option that says divider, turn it on. So when you turn it on, we can see this option here that says shape that you will typically not see if you don't turn this divider option on. So I'm just going to click on this shape here, and then I'm going to choose this one here, soft corner shapes. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to increase the height to large, and then I'm going to flip it over to this side. Okay, I'm just going to double check the one we have on this design. Okay, and we have it this way instead, so this is it. So I can see that it has like orange borders that are really thick. I don't really like that, so I'll go back, and then I'll scroll down, and then I'm going to head over to thickness here and click on small. I'll click on this arrow here, and then I'll reduce it to 1, and then I'll click on save. So the next section we want to work on is the contact us section. So I'm just going to be deleting these other sections for now. Remove, remove, remove. Okay, so let's add our contact section. So I'm just going to click on add section. I'll click on add a blank section. Click on edit section, change the color to cream, and then increase the spacing. Click on edit section, toggle up fill screen, increase the spacing again, and now I'm going to click on add block, and I'm going to see a form block. So this is a form block here. So I'm just going to move the form block to be in the middle here, and if you don't like, let's say the fact that the form has like rounded corners and everything, you can click on this pencil icon here, come all the way to design, and then click on form style here, click on the arrow here, and then you can change it to different options like this, 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 but I'm just going to choose this one for now. And then something else I must say is, if you are working on a form block, you need to come all the way to storage, and then ensure that you have your email connected to the form block, because if anybody feels it, it goes into your email. But if your email is not there, no one will be able to fill the form basically, or it will be going to an email that maybe doesn't exist. So for me, I have my email here, so I'm not going to be changing anything. So I'm just going to come all the way to content. If you want to add more content, you just need to come all the way to edit form fields and then add a field. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be adjusting this button, because I don't like the fact that the button is really small and then all the other blocks are big. So I'll come all the way to design, and then this option here that says button alignment, I'll click the last option here, and then this basically makes my button wider. So I'm just going to increase the spacing here, and then I'm just going to go all the way to the website, and then this is my write-up. So I'm just going to copy this, click on Command C, and then go all the way to the site, and then add a text block and move this all the way to the middle. Click on the pencil icon and click on Command V, and then I'll just drag this all the way to the end. And yeah, this is basically how to have a contact section on your site. So the last thing we're going to work on is the footer section. So for the footer section, I like when my footer section is very interesting. Like I like having like images on my footer section. So this is me adding like an Instagram blog to my footer section. So to do that, you just need to head over to your website. This is currently the footer section that we have. So we can work with this. So I'm just going to delete all the elements here currently. So you need to ensure that when you're working on your footer section, you need to ensure that it's a footer block that you added. You can't just add, the way we were adding sections here, you can't just add this kind of section, because the thing about a footer section is that whatever you do on a footer section will show up on every page on your site, so you don't work on it continuously. So when you click on add section, you need to ensure that it shows footer here. So if it shows footer here, it means that you're using the right section for this. So I'm just going to click on close, then I'm going to delete all of this. So the first thing I'm going to add is like a newsletter block. So I'm just going to increase the spacing a bit, I'm going to edit this section here, and then I'm going to change the color to this dark color here. Okay, so next I'm going to do is I'm going to add a newsletter block. So I'm just going to click on add block, and then see this newsletter block here. I'm just going to add it here, and I'm going to maybe give it like a border color. So I'll click on the pencil icon here on the newsletter block, come all the way to design, and then I'm going to toggle background on. So this is how I was able to achieve this. So the next thing I did was also added a scrolling block to the bottom. So to do that, I clicked on add block, and then I clicked on scrolling right here, and then I moved this to the bottom, and then clicked on my pencil icon, and then I just wrote bones and go, and then go backwards, delete this, come all the way to design, and then increase the text size to maybe medium, and then increase the item spacing. Yeah, so this was how I was able to achieve my scrolling block on my footer. There's something else I also did before adding my Instagram block was I clicked on add block, clicked on text, moved the text all the way to the middle here, and then clicked on my pencil icon, and then I put, let's say, follow. So if you have your Instagram, you can just click on Command A and then click on this link option, and once you put in your link, if anybody clicks on the follow option, it takes them to your Instagram. I can also like add other things like contact, and then link this separately, and then maybe add something else like about. I believe this, you could link this to your about page. Yeah, let's click on Command A, and then I'm going to click on Command A and then align this to the middle, and then just drag this out a bit. Yeah, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add like an Instagram block. So to do that, you need to come all the way to add block, scroll all the way to the option here that says Instagram. So this is it here, and then I'm just going to drag this block all the way to this area, and then I want just 6 blocks, so I'll come all the way to the pencil icon, and I'm going to reduce this option here that says 10 items. I'll change it to 6 items. I'll come all the way to design. This is set to grid. Grid is fine. It means the designs will be stacked. So thumbnails per row, I'll just choose 3, and then I'm going to go back to account, and then I'll choose this option here that says choose an account. I'll click on add an account, and then once I click on OK, it redirects me to my Instagram, and then just going to click on allow, and then I'll put in my Instagram handle, put in my password, click on login, save your account info, not now, and then would you like to continue sharing information about Novule to Squarespace? Click on allow, and now once I click on save, I click on exit, click on this arrow here, and I scroll down to the bottom. My Instagram block is right here. So I'm just going to make a few adjustments now that the Instagram block is here. Just going to reduce the white space here, move this here, or maybe move this here, and then move this to the top as well, and then reduce this excess space here, and then click on save. So the next thing you need to do is to go on your mobile view, because the mobile view does not automatically arrange itself. So for mobile view, everything basically stacks on top of themselves. So this is me just editing my mobile view and just arranging things and just stacking things on top of each other, but in a creative way. Okay, so after stacking things on mobile, this is what the mobile view looks like. Okay, so something else I wanted to talk about is how to link your buttons on Squarespace. So let's say, for example, you've added new pages to your site. So to add a new page to your site, you just need to come all the way to exit and then click on this option here that says not linked, or you can click on the main navigation. So if you click on the plus icon from the main navigation, it means that whatever page you create appears here on your header. But if you come all the way to not linked, the page wouldn't show up here. So I'm just going to click on the plus icon here, then I'm going to click on blank page, and then I'm just going to click on about and click on enter. So this is a new page. So once I click on about, I click on edit, I can create a new about page. And once you've created a home page, it means you'll be able to create an about page as well by just clicking on add section and adding a blank section. So I'm going to go all the way to exit. I'll go back to the main site, which is the home page, click on edit. So if I want to link any button on the site, what I just need to do is to click on the button block here, click on the pencil icon, click on attach link, and then I'm just going to type about, and then I can see my about page here. And then I'm just going to click on save, click on exit, and basically that is how to link a page. So once I click on this, it takes me to the new about page I just created. So after building your site, I'm sure the next thing you want to do is, maybe you want the site to go live. So what you just need to do is click on this arrow here. So let's say I was in edit mode. I'll just click on exit, click on the arrow here, and then come all the way to settings, the settings icon here, and then I'll come all the way to site availability, and then I will come all the way to upgrade to publish. And then it will ask me to select a plan, so I can choose this basic plan here. Click on the select, and then I can choose, maybe pay monthly, and then choose from selection. And then once I put in my details and everything, my website would be live. But then it would be live using the built-in domain that Squarespace gave you. So I'm just going to click on X and show you what your built-in domain is. So I'm just going to leave this page now, and then click on X, and then I'm going to come all the way to domains and emails, and then I'll click on domains here. So this is what your built-in domain is, but you can adjust it. So you just need to click on built-in domain, click on the arrow here, and then you can change the site ID to something else like homes and co. But then the thing about this is that it will have at squarespace.com or squarespace.com, which is not the most professional. So I'm just going to click on save. But if you have a professional domain and you want to connect your professional domain, you just need to come all the way to this option that says get a domain, or you can go all the way from these setting options here, click on domains here. This option says register and manage domains from Squarespace or other domain sellers. So I'm just going to click on this URL here, and then I will choose on get a domain or use a domain I own. So if you have an existing domain and you choose use a domain I own, Squarespace will basically prompt you on how to set up your domain. Let's say, for example, you use GoDaddy or Namecheap. Squarespace will basically tell you how to connect your domain if you used any of those providers. So right now, Squarespace is telling me homes.co is not available. It's telling me that homes.co.uk is available. It's telling me homestore.org.uk is available. So I just need to click on the basket here and then click on checkout, and then I can choose maybe 1 year, which is just £6. Click on save and continue, and then once I put in all my details, I'll be able to pay for my domain, and then it will be managed by Squarespace. So if you want me to create a tutorial where I share how to create a blog post or any other tutorials, basically, let's say, for example, you're in a different industry and you want me to create a website for your industry, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of building your website and you want someone to just take over that side of things for you, feel free to reach out to me. My details will be in the description box. See you in my next video.